Welcome back to the channel. What's going on, everybody? It has been a while. We haven't gotten much done on the Trans Am lately, but we are getting started back up with her, and today we're going to be working on the interior. As you can see, I've already started tearing into this some, but we are installing the B&M Outlaw shifter. We are going to be mounting our gauges here and there, and we're going to be pulling the dash, removing the AC box, and what else? Really, that's about it. That's it for the interior. We're going to try and hopefully figure out a way to use one of these for the bump button for the trans brake. So I'm going to figure out the wiring for that and see if I can give 12 volts to it and then get 12 volts out of it. But so I've already started tearing into this some, so I'll show you all what I've done. I have removed the center console. I've stuck it back in here for now, but there's a couple bolts in here. 2 bolts up on the front on each side. And then there's going to be 2 here to take off the little top cap section with the shifter plate, and then that all comes out. If you have this pulled all the way back, you should be able to pick it up and kind of twist it and get it out. Another thing we're going to try and do is get rid of this and figure out maybe a switch panel across here. So here is the shifter we're going with, B&M Outlaw shifter. It's got the 2 buttons on it here. I was going to use one of these for trans brake, probably one of them to scramble. This is the Turbo 400 reverse manual pattern valve body. Gate plate on the side of it. Pretty slick unit, and I am excited to get the mount made up for this. Here's a couple plates I have traced out. We're about to cut these suckers out. So this will be the plate that goes to the floor, and this will be the plate that goes to the bottom of the shifter. Now, what I'm doing with this is something that I've seen online. Another guy did. Give credit to him because this is where I got the idea for this from. But so we're gonna have a plate bolted right here, and there'll be 2 1-inch pipes coming up through the factory hole for the shifter, which is right here. So we'll have two 1-inch pieces of tubing coming through there, and then on the bottom plate of this, there'll be 3/4 inch tubing for a couple inches, and then they'll slide into each other and then pin in, so that if I ever need to pull the center console, I can just pull the 2 pins out, and then the shifter comes off, and then you can remove the center console and everything. I'll insert a picture here of where I kind of sat the shifter at, and with it tilted back and everything a little bit like how I'm going to make it. It's going to clear the head unit just fine. It's gonna feel real comfortable. My elbow will be able to rest on the center console whenever I can shift it and everything. We'll go ahead and get started with the cut. we got our plate all cut out, laid in, drilled our holes a little bit bigger on the car side right there for this to go in. So we got that, about to drill out the plate for the shifter side right here. And then I will cut the pipe to come through. We'll position all that, mark it, tack it up, test it, and then cut some 3/4 inch to go on this to go down into the 1 inch that's mounted to that, and we'll test fit everything. Time to hop onto welding here. I got marks where my gussets are going to be here. This back one, there's a piece in the way right here with the center console, so we're going to just have it come like that. Should be just fine. Alright, don't knock me for my welds. I'm usually used to a squirt gun MIG welder, but using an arc welder right now. Not horrible, but needs some work. So just tack this guy together, test fit it in the car, and then made my marks here for these two. I just called an audible last second right now and decided to turn the shifter towards me a little bit in there, to angle it towards me a little bit so it's a little straighter with my arm. And it'll also help line up the shifter cable to go through the cigarette lighter and all that. So here she is, all cleaned up. Not horrible, but definitely not that great. And there it is. It ain't the prettiest, but we'll clean it up and paint it. I'm going to paint it white, same color as the car. And it's definitely going to work. One thing I should have done was tacked these, marked those, tacked those, and then slipped them together and finished welded both of them, because it was a little rough going in at first after I tacked these. Well, I kind of did like a half weld around them. But I tapped it down in there with a hammer all the way till it was flat, and then I went around it all the way again, so it would, when it pulled up, it would kind of straighten itself out, and now it's sliding in and out of there pretty good. So I am pretty happy with what we've got here. Just gonna let her cool off for a while. We're gonna test fit it into the car, bolt this to the shifter, bolt that to the car, and feel what it feels like to shift that thing. All right, the shifter mount is basically all done. The only thing left to do is to drill a couple holes down here and get some pins for it, and then to paint it. But it is mounted up enough to where we can play with it a little bit. So we got our sticker on here to show us what gear we're in. We're in park right now. Pull back and hit reverse. Shouldn't have to pull that. Neutral. 1, 2, and then to get into 3 you have to pull it. 3, and then you can go all the way back to neutral there. You got your reverse lockout. You have to hit your button, and then you can go to reverse and park. But this is set up nice because right here you're neutral. Right, so there's one on the trans brake, launch, pull second and it will stop and not let you go skip second to third. Then you gotta grab this to go third. Really exciting.